Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna look at some iron farms, and that's why you see so many slime behind me, because well, I had to turn back the mob spawn thingies, because normally it is a very peaceful world where nothing spawns, but well, that doesn't really work if you need iron, does it? So first things first, let's start with this little guy over here. He's from the front he looks pretty alright, but from the back, well, he looks very thick. And I think you could probably fix that by making him a bit smaller, but I wanted to get the iron golems like enough room to spawn. And it really doesn't bother me too much that this guy is very thick, because well, you know, it works. It's actually a rather decent spawn rate. It's probably not the best iron farm, but it worked, and you know, I guess it also tells your friends of where their iron farm is. They don't have to ask, oh, where is it, because it's quite obvious that this is the iron farm. The way this thing works is rather easy. The head itself has two levels of, well, villagers with a zombie in the middle. Over here there's also like a zombie here and like more villagers. I think just 3 or 4 might work before you can spawn an iron golem. The most important thing is that they can sleep, because you first have to sleep one before they will start spawning iron golems, just like this one being destroyed right now. So just one level of these might be enough, but the more you have, the faster they will spawn in, of course, because that's how it works. Yeah, it's a rather simple design. All you get to make sure is that everything is slapped off or has carpet on it. It don't have to be that far. I think like 7 or 8 blocks is far enough for it to not spawn. And then you need an area where they can spawn. And in this case it's the dirt over here. And that's enough for this thing to work. You also gotta make sure that everything underground is completely sealed off, so nothing can spawn underground, or you have to place your villagers even more above. I think this might be fine, but for the later design that we see, to make sure that there's like literally nothing where they can spawn, or else you'll start spawning underground in little creeks and crevices where you can't really get your iron from. Looking at this little guy at night, you'll notice that his heart is well lit up, which is of course the furnace for the iron golems. Honestly, I think that really don't need to be lit up, because there's like nothing that can spawn, because everything is completely made mob proof just to make your iron farm work. Next up we got another small design. This is more of like maybe an iron factory, you could say. So it's like a very old school factory building, like a 18th century factory. So it's entirely made of stone and bricks, and it looks very old indeed. But then again, this might be good if you want to have like one of those industrial areas where you want to, well, I guess camouflage all of your farms so they don't really look that ugly. This might be a really nice addition to your farms in general, because well, it works also very good. I think it's one of the better farms I made, because it has like a nice open area. And second is because there's quite a lot of villagers down here. Look at all these villagers running around. The more villagers you have, the more iron golems that will spawn. But that might also mean that you need a couple more zombies. But I think the villager part is like the more annoying part. The more villagers you have, the faster the golems will spawn. And therefore, this one is a lot more effective than the last one. And at midnight, this bad boy looks a little bit brighter than the last one, because it's of course like a building that should be, well, should work, and therefore it's a little bit more lit up than the last one. Next up, this one is a little bit weird, because well, it just looks like a small, I would almost say like something you see in a cemetery, right? Some weird grave. But this is actually, I will call this an oven. It's not the most effective one, like you see it only has like a couple of iron. Granted, I just built this one, so it hasn't been up for a long time, so it can't really do much. But also like down here, it's not really that effective. Oh, it seems like I even forgot some water. You also gotta be sure to test everything, so your golems get pushed away. But yeah, this is not that effective, as they sometimes get stuck up here. Eventually they'll make their way through. And once that happens, well, he just gets up here, get pushed all the way up, and then it falls in the lava pit over here. And it will look like your oven is just burning some material, and then it is just over here. But as I said, it's not the most effective one. You don't really need the eyes, because the eyes is not really doing anything. I was just testing around with it, see if it works. They really don't seem to care about ice, sadly, or else it will maybe like a lot easier. It's the same as before, just all the villagers and some zombies to make them spawn a little bit faster. Here comes another one, just goes all the way over there and then gets stuck. And eventually he'll just make his way in a stream in the middle, but it might just take a while. If one of you guys have like any advice on how to like fix this situation, I will gladly hear it, because I think this design is a lot more funnier than the other design, as you like scoot the iron golems up here and then like just push them to the front and kill them. So yeah, it's probably not the best design, but I think it looks funny. I think it's a funny thing. And once again at night, this one actually gives you a lot of light, because these are walls and walls with light through. And well, it also has a couple of lanterns on top that gives you a small beacon of light from afar. Then last but not least, this one is quite a feat. This one's rather big. My thinking process of this thing is like, okay, what if I built a lighthouse and the light itself is from the golem being on fire? Won't that be hilarious? I know it will be hilarious, except that I completely forgot that if you want to do that, well, you're not going to see the light of the golem, because if you're standing from like down here, you're not going to see anything going on up there. But in general, it's a fun idea, and it's definitely a different approach of a farm. And it works pretty well. I wouldn't say bad. So again, the golems get spawned up here, and then they get pushed to the middle and die over here. And how it works down here is rather simple. There's 4 villagers and 1 zombie just locked up over here. The villagers see him, they get scared and run away and spawn a golem on top. And once this thing dies, it goes into the hoppers, and the hopper has a hopper line on the side here, so it doesn't interfere with the spawning or with the villager itself. And then it just goes all the way down here, which means you can either have your base in this area, or you can have a very big storage system all just for all the iron. It is the last building I made, so I think this has been up for like maybe 15 minutes or something, and it already has like an alright amount of iron. And generally, I think I really like this one. I see myself building this one as well, like a survival build, because it's not too bad to build. Mostly concrete and bricks and some netherrack stuff. It's like nothing too special. But it's a very fun design for a farm. I think not this bad way. I mean, I do notice that there's only light at the top of the lighthouse, which is how you normally will have it. If you want to make this your base and you want to use every floor of this building, feel free to use some windows here and there to make it more alive looking. But it's not something I needed per se, because I never, well, I just wanted to show you how it could work as an iron farm, so there's no windows really needed here. So generally speaking, you don't really need that much for an iron farm. Like, all you need is some villagers that are afraid every day of their lives, kind of a mood. And you need an area where the golems will spawn and go into the lava. Just gotta make sure that your entire zone is made mob proof, and it will work every single time. So you can make whatever you want for your iron farm like this. Not really something you have to look up a tutorial for, because it's actually fairly easy. I think it's like one of the easiest farms you can make without actually making a single mistake. Well, except for this one, we don't talk about this one. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye! And I just made it not mob proof.